We're back again with another stimulus check update for you. And make sure you watch this video all the way through to the end. That way you won't miss out on the special bonus I have in store for you at the end of the video. And give this video a thumbs up. That way YouTube can promote this video. We can get it put in front of more people so they can see it. Make sure you share this video everywhere and subscribe using the big red button below. If you haven't already subscribed, that's where you can get more up-to-date stimulus check updates. And today we're talking about the stimulus package, good or bad news. Again, guaranteed income program, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, and $2,000 a month also as well, and guaranteed income program. And for our stimulus check update today, for August 11th of 2020. So basically what we're going to be talking about is the guaranteed income programs that are out now. Some of them, we're not going to address all of them because the video will be way too long. Also, we're going to be talking about Republicans, senators getting pressure from Americans to also as well to support the HEROES Act and $600 unemployment, and negotiations. This is good news. Negotiations will continue, and my reasons why. And also, we're going to be talking about Mitch McConnell pushes for a deal, and also stimulus checks will still happen, and Trump polls right now as it stands against Joe Biden in the November election. So first up, we're going to talk about Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh mayor, Bill Peduto, announced that his city is now participating in a program receiving funding from Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, in which eligible residents will receive $500 in monthly guaranteed income. The money used to start the program will come from funds that Dorsey gave that is allowing Pittsburgh and 15 other cities to help those who are struggling during the economic crisis brought about by the C-word sickness pandemic. Dorsey's gift is benefiting cities, and the gift is $3 million in funds. It's benefiting cities including Atlanta, Seattle, and Los Angeles, whose mayors formed the network Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. That group was launched by Stockton, California Mayor Michael Tubbs, who launched his own guaranteed income program in 2018. And of course, we have the big news for today that is breaking news, actually, where presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden announced today that he has picked Senator Kamala Harris, a Democrat from California, as his running mate. Now, Harris has been a major supporter and proponent of a monthly stimulus check. Harris, along with Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent from Vermont, and Senator Ed Markey, Democrat from Massachusetts, introduced the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act a few months ago, which would give up to $2,000 a month to everyone earning up to $120,000 a year. The monthly payment begins to phase out starting at $100,000 a year. Married couples filing jointly receive $4,000. You can receive $2,000 for each dependent, a maximum 3 dependents. The legislation will be retroactive to March 2020. Every U.S. resident can receive payment regardless if they file taxes or have a Social Security number. The payments would last until 3 months after the end of the pandemic. Now, last month, Harris reiterated her call again for the $2,000 monthly stimulus checks during an interview on MSNBC. Harris told MSNBC host Chris Hayes, together with Bernie Sanders and Ed Markey, I'm proposing that we have not just one-time check of $1,200. Now, what Kamala Harris means for your next stimulus payment? Well, as a senator and vice presidential candidate, Harris can vote on the next stimulus package if Congress reaches an agreement. However, Congress won't support a monthly stimulus check, including the Harris-Sanders-Markey plan for the next stimulus due to a lack of bipartisan support. With that said, if Harris is elected vice president and Democrats gain control of the U.S. Senate, it's possible that a Biden-Harris administration could push for a monthly stimulus check in Congress. Many Democrats support some form of basic universal income, and this call for monthly support may increase, particularly if the C-word sickness pandemic and any associated economic downturn, if this continues after January 20th of 2021. Now, other good news that we have for guaranteed income programs is Andrew Yang's nonprofit Humanity Forward is joining with a group called the 1K Project to give $1,000 a month for 3 months to struggling families in the U.S. Yang's nonprofit pledged to match donations to the 1K Project up to $1 million. And in case some of you don't know, Andrew Yang, he ran for president for the 2020 election, but he had dropped out of the primaries. Now, here's for our really good news here on our stimulus package. Now, Mitch McConnell, the majority leader of the Senate, urges White House today and Democrats to restart the relief negotiations on the next stimulus package. Now, McConnell, who is a Kentucky Republican, has not joined in the talks or the formal negotiations that went on for almost 2 weeks, but set down a marker last month when the Senate GOP released its pandemic aid bill. Today, he told Fox News that the American people are sick of the stalemate after another day passed with no formal discussions between Democrats and the Trump administration. I think it's time for everybody to get back to the table and let's get a deal done, McConnell had said. So we know that's good news, having the majority leader of the Senate pushing and putting more pressure on the 4 negotiators to get back in the room and make a deal happen, okay? Continue the negotiations, right? So we know that negotiations will continue because both sides actually want this. Now, we're going to talk about Trump poll numbers as it stands right now. Okay, there's not much of a difference in his poll numbers now as there were a few weeks ago. Trump is still losing to Biden by over 10 points in the national polls. Now, this is different polling numbers than there were in 2016. It's a whole different scenario this time around because of 4 things. 1, Biden has a better relationship with Bernie Sanders than Clinton did in 2016, right? As you know, Clinton and Bernie Sanders pretty much went almost at war with each other in 2016, although Bernie Sanders did support Clinton. Biden and Bernie Sanders has a way better relationship. They even put together a task force, and their staff is also working with each other at an earlier time in this election year than Clinton and Bernie Sanders did back in 2016. I believe it wasn't until the end of the primaries when Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and her staff actually started working together. Now, the third-party candidates this year are less prominent, and they get less attention now than they did in 2016, right? You hardly ever hear of third-party candidates in the media now, whereas in 2016, you heard a lot about Jill Stein. You heard a lot about libertarian candidates in 2016, too, also as well, but not the case this year in 2020, right? Now, third, no one underestimates Trump's chances of winning the election this time around. Now, in 2016, in the beginning, it was a big joke, right? It was a big joke among Democrats, started, I believe, by President Obama when he had a big White House dinner, right? He made a big joke about that. And also followed up in the media where they joked and laughed about Trump ever having any chance of becoming president. Not so this time around, right? The fourth thing is people do not dislike Biden as much as they did Hillary Clinton back then. Okay. So now that brings us to our last topic. Can a second stimulus check still go out this month? I know a lot of you in our Facebook group and our Facebook page also have asked the question, are we getting a second stimulus check? Did the second stimulus check pass? Well, my answer to that is no, the second stimulus check has not passed yet. We don't know when they're going out, but if you ask me, will we get a second stimulus check? The answer is yes. Stimulus checks are still on the way. Stimulus checks are coming. Okay. Now, what needs to happen before the IRS can start sending out these stimulus checks is, one, Democrats and Republicans have to reach agreement on the next stimulus package and draft the final bill. Two, both the House and Senate must vote in favor of the bill. Three, the president must sign the bill. And four, the Treasury can then start distributing the payments. Now, a bill can go through a number of additional steps. Like, for example, once a bill is drafted and introduced in the House or Senate, it typically goes through a committee, a subcommittee, and even lengthy hearings. In the case of the stimulus package, however, bills have already been introduced and the HEROES Act have been passed by the House. Given the urgent need for relief, the process will move very quickly. Now, the Treasury should be able to start sending out the stimulus check in about a week after the president signs a stimulus bill into law. Now, a more likely hurdle is that both Democrats and Republicans may feel that they have the upper hand right now in these negotiations. Democrats have stood firm on key issues like state and local government funding and unemployment benefits, with little indication of a willingness to compromise. At the same time, Mr. Trump may feel emboldened by the executive actions he recently took. Basically by Forbes estimate in the article that was released today, Washington would need to reach agreement in about 1 week at the latest for a second stimulus check to go out by the end of the month. Whether this will happen depends almost entirely on whether and when the parties can reach an agreement on a stimulus package. Okay. And finally, what we have for you is some laid off workers. They set up soup kitchens in front of senators who oppose extending $600 checks. I found this quite interesting too, also because these events or soup kitchens, they were planned and paid for by several labor unions in support of members of Unite Here, a hospitality workers union that represents about 300,000 airport, restaurant, hotel, and casino employees in the United States and Canada. Organizers are targeting Republican senators, including Kelly Loeffler, John Cornyn, and Martha McSally, who opposed the so-called HEROES Act. Now, in Atlanta, dozens of airport workers today set up a soup kitchen outside the office of Kelly Loeffler, the junior Republican senator from Georgia. Now, they are planning this, actually, I should say. Similar demonstrations are scheduled in Denver, Phoenix, Houston, Charlotte, and Austin. Now, Loeffler, the junior senator, told Fox News last month, "I've talked to many employers across Georgia that are having a hard time bringing back folks to work. We need to remove that incentive to not to be at work. I'm not seeing a big need to extend the federal unemployment insurance." Loeffler's office on Monday said she needed more time to respond to a request for comment about the soup kitchen being set up outside her office today. So actually, correction, that soup kitchen was actually set up outside of her office today. So as you can see, there's a lot of pressure here to come to a deal on the next stimulus package, okay? There's pressure from Americans, right? The American public. There's also pressure from senators. There's pressure from House Democrats. The leader of the House, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they want to come to an agreement, okay? They want a deal on the next relief stimulus package. Also, Mitch McConnell, as I mentioned, he put pressure on the White House and the Democrats too to come back to the room and negotiate also as well. Now, as you know, the negotiations have been conducted not by President Trump, not by Mitch McConnell, but Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Chuck Schumer, Minority Leader of the Democrats in the Senate, Mark Meadows, White House Chief of Staff, and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. So stimulus checks will still happen, folks. Negotiations will continue because there's way too much pressure from Trump losing in the polls, and Trump knows this. Trump knows that he needs another stimulus check to pass. He needs another stimulus package to pass because it gives him a nice big bump in his poll numbers too. Okay, so he knows that this has to happen. Okay, and Mitch McConnell, he's just out there pretty much right now to please Trump. Okay, so as far as the Republicans in the Senate, Mitch McConnell has said that over half, well, about nearly, I should say this, nearly half of the Republicans in the Senate will not support any type of stimulus package. Well, I believe that opinion will change, okay, especially now after Trump signed his executive order and memorandums also as well on Saturday, which we believe that will not stimulate the economy, for one, will not encourage people to go back to work, for two, and will not help hardly that many people, for three. It's hard to implement. Many governors have said their state will not be able to implement it. And there's things that Trump said that he will do to make this happen that are not in the executive order and not in the memorandums that was written up, okay, that he has posted on his whitehouse.gov website. So keep the faith. Stimulus checks are on the way. They're still coming. And that's all I got for you folks. So make sure you join our Facebook group so you can get more stimulus check updates by clicking the link down inside the description. Just hit the down arrow here. That'll open up for you. You see the link. And also, while you're in there, see other links for free money and other helpful resources. Make sure you like the video, give it a thumbs up so YouTube can promote it. More people can see the video. Share this video everywhere. Make sure you subscribe also as well by hitting the big red button down below. And from all of us here at the How to Get an 800 Credit Score LLC family, stay safe, be blessed, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. My name is Lyndon Baptiste, and on this channel we talk about ways to increase your credit score, build credit, and get approved for the lowest payments on mortgages and lines of credit, travel the world for free, earn extra money with cash back. And if that interests you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll never miss a single video as we make them.